Hi folks, John with the Wingman 115 channel. Thank you so much for watching. Today we're going to be doing a little bit different style of knife review. Now, I'm a huge history buff. I love history. Today we're going to be talking about a Ron Hood knife design. Now, if folks aren't familiar with Ron Hood passed away, gosh, just a few years ago. Time flies by so fast. And Ron Hood was a huge contributor to the wilderness survival bushcraft community. Ron Hood taught college level courses back in the day for many years and used to take folks up to the Sierra Nevada mountains on wilderness survival trips, camping trips, stuff like that, teaching primitive living skills that he had picked up in his years in the Army and such. Ron retired from being a college professor and then moved to Idaho with his wife Karen. They had a website called survival.com. They still do, still active. They have a forum called, I believe it's the Hood's Woods forum. I'll leave links to all that in the video description below. Ron Hood was a good friend of Mike Fuller, the owner of Tops Knives. Mike and Ron got together and Ron designed the Anaconda way back in the day. This knife has been around for a lot of years. I've been wanting to review this knife for a very long time. Ron had a philosophy of this, and I heard him say this once on video, that the reason that he liked big knives, he says that a big knife can do a small task, but a small knife can't do the task of a big knife. That gives folks a lot to think about. There's going to be folks in the community that are going to say, yeah, right. There's going to be folks in the community that say, my little knife can do this, whatever. I'm not here to start problems with that. I'm just doing a quote from Ron and part of the thought process that went into a lot of the knives that he designed. This is the Anaconda 7B. We're going to cut away. We're going to do a quick specs rundown. We'll do some woods tasks with this knife, and then I'll come back and give you some final thoughts on this Ron Hood design. Folks, I love history. I love sharing stories like that with you, and this video starts now. a knot that we got to go through right there. Let's try this twisted piece of limb. I don't know if the camera's going to pick up the whole shot or not. Pretty gnarly. Let me cut it down. Now this is a pretty twisted piece of limb. Let's see how well this is going to perform here. It's breaking my baton. Let's try from the other side. No. Here's where I'm just a huge fan of the recurve. Just takes nice big pieces out. Chips are flying. We're going to try chopping through the limb of this down pine tree with the Anaconda, see how well she's going to work. Now, one thing about this wood, it's almost petrified. This petrified pine is almost like a hardwood at this point because it's been heat treated. But the Anaconda is doing a pretty good job. Not bad. That was some hard wood right there. Petrified pine. Now for some final thoughts on the Anaconda 7B. First off, let's talk about the ballistic nylon sheath. Just your standard ballistic nylon sheath, has a storage pouch in the front, MOLLE compatible. A lot of folks, you're either fans or you're not fans. There's a lot of sheath makers out there, not a problem. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes of the blade. First off, 1/4 inch of 1095 high carbon steel, saber grind, recurve. I love recurves, you guys know that. And drop point. I just love this design. Weight, 23 ounces. It's a big knife and it's got the weight behind it. Makes for a great chopper. That sweet spot was just right there as that recurve came down into the belly and it started to swoop up. Just a nice sweet spot. Now, handles. Linna Micarta, Rocky Mountain tread, jimping on top. I don't have a problem with this. I find that when my hands get wet, these scales get wet, your hands are sweaty, whatever, it just gives you a better grip on this knife. Now, this knife, I found I could hold it in 3 positions. I have what's called the backseat grip, where my index, ring, and middle finger slip right in there. My pinky goes over the pommel, and I get that nice pendulum motion, able to chop really well with that. Then I can move up to the standard grip for cutting, doing some of my basic tasks. Then when I want to do the fine motor skill work, I slide up to that finger choil and then I can do that fine motor skill, detailed work, get right in there, do some good cutting with it. Has just enough jimping on there, not overly aggressive that's going to tear into my hand. I don't like to wear gloves when I'm out in the woods, just old habit. And I found playing around with this knife all day, I had no problem with hot spots. Now, I'm not going to lie, the handles are huge on this knife. So if you have small hands, you might have an issue with this. I have medium-sized hands. Folks with medium, large, extra large, you're not going to have a problem with this. Now, everything is all personal preference. Some people like to be able to wrap all their fingers around the handles. To me, it's not that big of a deal. I work with enough knives that I don't have a problem with that. I just love this design and the way that they angled the handle. So if you look, the way my hand is, it's just a natural when you're chopping, when you're working with this knife. It's just got an awesome angle to it. And that's just a testament to Ron Hood being able to get out in the woods all the many years that he was able to, teaching wilderness survival skills, making videos, doing all that good stuff. Just all his life experiences. Just an awesome blade. Now, you guys want to know how I'm going to rate this knife. You guys know that I rate it on a scale of 1 to 5 stars. 1 being a dumper, 5, it's a grand slam. Seeing that it's a big knife, I'm a fan of big knives, I'm going to give it 4 stars. And that's not a knock. Ron Hood did a great job on this blade. Just some people are going to come back and say the handles are not for them. And I have to agree with them. I mean, like I said, if you have medium or large hands, you're not going to have a problem with this. But small hands, you're probably going to want to find another design. Now, Tops makes this, I believe, I'm going to look at my show notes, in 3 or 4 different designs. I'll list photos of them right now. There's a little bit of something for everyone. There's a 9-inch. This is 7.5 inches. Just an awesome piece of steel. And I'm just glad to be able to share it with you. Ron Hood's memory lives on through the knives that he's designed, through the DVDs that he's created. And I'll leave links in the video description below on Ron's website and on Hood's Woods forum and all that good stuff. So that's a wrap, folks. This is John with the Wingman 115 channel. I thank you so much for watching. And folks, I'll see you on the next video. Take care, folks.